Yasodananda Prahladananda Kunjaviyari Śrī-rādhāṛāṇī Kunjaviyari tad-bhāvāḍhyaḥ Girivanajari tad-bhāvāḍhyaḥ Girivanajari Yasodananda Prahladananda Yasodananda Prahladananda Śrī-rādhāyāḥ Kunjaviyari Śrī-rādhāyāḥ Kunjaviyari Gopijana-vallabha Girivanajari Gopijana-vallabha Girivanajari Yasodananda Prahladananda Yasodananda Prahladananda Śrī-rādhāṛāṇī Kunjaviyari Śrī-rādhāṛāṇī Kunjaviyari Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhudakacharya Astatara Satushi Shriman His Divine Grace Śrīmatī Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande all glories to the sound devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Ajnana-tvanandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurunglitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shiguro Shiyuta Pada Kamalam Shigurum Vaishnavamscha Shirupam Sagridatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Prijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Śrī-rādhā Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakans Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karna-sindhau Dinabandho Jagatpate Kopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishubhanu Siddhi-devī Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Pranityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this on the board is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ādi-līlā, chapter 1, text number 6. I'm just going to read the verse rather than having a repetition. It's quite a long verse. I guess, is it in Brahma Samhita? No, it's not. Okay, so I'll just read it because however I read it, it's going to be wrong, but at least I'll try to say the words. Śrī-rādhāyāḥ praṇaya-mahimā kīdṛśo vānayaivā svādyo yenādbhuta-madhurimā kīdṛśo vā madīyaḥ saukhyaṁ cāsyā mad-anubhavataḥ kīdṛśaṁ veti lobhāt tad-bhāvāḍhyaḥ samajani śacī-garbha-sindhau harīnduḥ śrī-rādhāyāḥ of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī praṇaya-mahimā, the greatness of the love, kīdṛśo, of what kind, vā, or, anaya, by this one, Rādhārāṇī, alone, svādyo, to be relished, yenādbhuta, by that love, madhūrimā, the wonderful sweetness, kīdṛśo, of what kind, vā, or, madīyaḥ, of me, saukhyaṁ, the happiness, cha, and cāsyā, her, mad-anubhavataḥ, from realization of my sweetness, kīdṛśaṁ, of what kind, vā, or, iti, thus, lobhāt, from the desire, tad, her, bhāvāḍhyaḥ, richly endowed with emotions, samajani, took birth, śacī-garbha, from the womb of Śrīmatī Śacī-devī, Sindhau, in the ocean. Hari, Lord Krishna, Hindu, like the moon. Translation. Desiring to understand the glories of Rādhārāṇī's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Śrīmatī Śacī-devī as the moon appears from the ocean. So please repeat. Desiring to understand the glory of Rādhārāṇī's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. The Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Śrīmatī Śacī-devī as the moon appeared from the ocean. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Sarasvatunde Ve Gauravani Vicharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskatyade Sadarane. In the Śrīmad-bhāgavatam, it mentions that the purpose of Śrīmad-bhāgavatam is to reveal three things. Vedanti tat vidas tatvaya jnanam advayam prameti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdite. As Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedaham samititani vartmanani cha orjuna Vavishami tu bhutani mam tu vedana kasyana. That I know everything that's happened in the past, everything that's happening in the present, and everything that's going to happen in the future. I also know all living entities, but me no one knows. So Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna 5,000 years ago, and since no one really understood, or very few people understood Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, people did not take him very seriously. As a matter of fact, in the introduction, as I said before, to the Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada mentions that the Gita Upanishad, or the Bhagavad Gita, is the essence of all the Vedic literature. 1 billion verses or so. So one American lady requested Srila Prabhupada to recommend an edition in the Bhagavad Gita in English. And Prabhupada said both in India and in America, he could not recommend any edition of the Bhagavad Gita because none of them touched on the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita. The spirit of the Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada, in the next paragraph, he says that if you want to take a medicine, you have to take it according to the label on the bottle or according to the expert physician. You can't take it according to the whims of your friend. So the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita has been put forward by acharyas, and Prabhupada mentions Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, and later on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And also in the Brahma Samhita and the Bhagavad Gita, they all declare that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now to enter into Krishna consciousness, we have to enter through a disciple succession. In other words, 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared because he wanted to reveal actually what Krishna had spoken 5,000 years ago in a practical way. In other words, Krishna, he displayed different rasas, Madhurya rasa, vatsalya rasa, sakhya rasa, dasya rasa, and shanta rasa. But people had no method of entering into any of these rasas without understanding properly Krishna. But to understand Krishna properly, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma tame divyam evam yoviti tatvataha tyaktvideham punarjanma naiti mam eti sarjana. To understand how Krishna took his birth and what his activities are, then we can go back to the spiritual world. Unfortunately, in order to do that, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, you have to be on the spiritual platform to understand Krishna. So how to understand Krishna? Bhakti mam abhijananti yavanyas shasmi tatvataha tyaktvedeham punarjanma naiti mam iti sorj. Actually, that's right. Bhakti mam abhijananti yavanyas shasmi tatvataha tatomam tatato gyatva vishetet anantaram. That we can understand Krishna through bhakti. But what is bhakti? Krishna explained that you have to understand Krishna through bhakti, and of course bhakti is revealed in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is available. It was spoken by Śrīmatī Śacī-devī to Maharaj Parikshit. And it explains about so many wonderful devotees, especially the Mahajans. Swayambhura, Narada, Shambhu, Prahlada, Kapila, Manu, Kumara, Janako, Bhishmo, Vyasaka, Vayam. These great devotees are explained there are bhakti throughout the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. But as a practical example, obviously, most of us are not going to follow the footprints or the example of Prahlad Maharaj, although we may have had a father similar to Hiranyakashipu. But luckily, probably none of them put us through the same kind of tortures that Hiranyakashipu put his Prahlad through. And we're not about to follow Dhruva Maharaj's footprints or example. And like today is a fast day, we have to fast until probably after the solar eclipse. But I don't think we're prepared to just eat some kapita fruit every third day for the first month here in Vrindavan, if you can find any kapita fruit. And then, of course, the next month you have to hope some leaves fall from the trees so you can eat them every 6th day. By that time, I'm sure if anyone who came here to Vrindavan to lose weight, they'd probably get their desire fulfilled. And then after that, every 9th day, drink a little bit of water. Anyone here up to doing that for 3 months? And then after that, only 1 breath of air every 12th day. And then you have to stop breathing, stand on 1 foot, and meditate on Vishnu. And then you'll be a good devotee of Dhruva Maharaj. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loved to hear the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj over and over again, and the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj. But I don't think most of us are not up to following their example as a method of becoming Krishna conscious. And there are other examples in the Śrīmad Bhagavatam. So people who read the Bhagavatam, they heard Bhagavad Gita, and still they could not understand what the path for them personally would be to obtain bhakti, love for Krishna. How to enter into bhakti. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came 500 years ago, and he not only taught that we're not this body, how to take shelter of Paramatma within the heart, everything that was there in Krishna's teaching, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also manifested. As well as Bhagavan, how to worship Bhagavan, but in a way that is only displayed once every day of Brahma. Anarpitam charim charat kruna vyavitaram charo. Once in a day of Brahma, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and he displays the feelings of separation, especially in Madhurya Rasa. Now, that doesn't give most of us an entrance into bhakti either. Therefore, we have the acharyas coming afterwards, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, so many different acharyas. And then after that, we have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his disciples succession of Jiva Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji. And still, in one sense, things are a little bit different, distance, closer for our application, but I don't think as during the time of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, most of us are going to become Babajis. Renounce our family, move into a little ashram, put on white, and etc., etc. Therefore, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur prayed for an incarnation, a direct associate of Śrīmatī Radharāṇī, who could come and reveal to us the process that we can apply in this age so we can enter into the holy name and take advantage of the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Therefore, he sent Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada manifested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela for our age and gave so many devotees of all different, especially in India though, an opportunity, men and women and all different types of people from all different communities, to take advantage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. And he formed the Gaudiya Math, and he sent devotees to England to try to get the Westerners interested in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. But they didn't succeed very much. And therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Srila Prabhupada as his representative. And representative doesn't mean that you simply go because you have an official card that you're authorized. That you go because, as it's said about Vidura when he came back from pilgrimage after some 30-something years, Maharaj Yudhisthira greeted him and he said, Bhavan vidas bhagavatas tirtha bhutak swayam vibho tirtha korvanti tirtani swantak stena gatabrataha. That saints like yourself are verily places of pilgrimage, because wherever you go, you turn that place into a place of pilgrimage because you carry within your heart the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had a disciple, Srila Prabhupada, sent by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go around the world and manifest Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes all around the world. Sometimes devotees ask me, can I say something about my pastimes or my experience with Srila Prabhupada? And of course, I did have some experience with Srila Prabhupada, according to my capacity at that time. But actually, this movement is a manifestation of Srila Prabhupada's pastimes. He reasons ill who thinks that Vaishnavas die, for they are living still in sound, that Vaishnavas die to live, and living spread the holy name around. So Prabhupada's pastimes include the pastimes of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, and include the pastimes of Gaurkishore Das Babaji, include the pastimes of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jagannath Babaji, and all the disciple succession. And especially interesting for us, wherever Prabhupada went, not only his spiritual master went with the disciple succession, but the 6 Goswamis were there, the Panchatattva was there, and all the pastimes of Krishna in the feelings of separation were accompanying Srila Prabhupada. For that reason, he was able to spread Krishna consciousness around the world. Krishna Shakti Vinanaya Tara Pravar. That's called being empowered. Unless we can say that wherever I go, all the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the 6 Goswamis and the Panchatattva and all of Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan are accompanying me, we have a little bit to elevate, to learn. Therefore, our business is connect whoever we meet, Yari Deka, Tarikaha, Krishna Upadesh, Amara Aga Gurahana Taridesh. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction to his followers, whoever we meet, we should tell them about Yari Deka Tarikaha. What should we say? Krishna Upadesh, the teachings of Krishna. So, in order to understand the teachings of Krishna, we have to understand the teachings of our founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada. In order to understand the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his activities, they're manifested by Srila Prabhupada as the current representative of our disciple succession. And also, all of us, we're all instruments for Srila Prabhupada, for the instruments for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement. Exactly what part we play, that's up to Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, they wanted to establish culture, because culture is the background. In other words, culture means the mode of goodness. The next stage before we get to the pure goodness, first we have to come to goodness. And in goodness, culture is manifested. Human culture. Prabhupada once wrote, he said that actually the Kshatriyas, the Vaishyas, the Shudras, they're not quite on the human form of life yet. It's actually the Brahmins that are on the human form of life. The human form of life means a gentleman. Brahman, the mode of goodness. Samadhamma tapa saukhyaṁ shanti arjuvam evacha jnana vijnana astikyam brahma karma sabhavajam. It is not everyone is on the mode of goodness. We have to cultivate the mode of goodness. Equanimity, tolerance, simplicity, knowing Shastra theoretically and applied. This is the mode of goodness, and from there we can understand the philosophy and then apply it so we can come to pure goodness. So Srila Prabhupada displayed goodness, and at the same time, through his goodness was not just goodness. Although he displayed goodness, his goodness was pure goodness, perfect goodness. In other words, just like in this verse, it explains about what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu what Krishna came to experience. And that's what we've all come to experience. It's not that we're separate from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came, or from Krishna, he came here to experience something, and we came to this movement to experience something else. That it's too esoteric. Krishna is so far away from us. Goloka Vrindavan is so many light years away from us. Pantastu koti shatavatsara sampragamya. We can go at the speed of the mind or the speed of the wind. We'll never get to Goloka Vrindavan. No, he's come here to display exactly what we've come to this movement to experience. Namely, he came to experience, first of all, Radha's love. So we've come here to experience our own love. Everyone wants to experience their own love. Therefore, in the material world, out of it's not mistaken. We understand that our love can be experienced in relationship to other living entities. Also can be experienced in relationship to inanimate objects. Just like nowadays people do pujas for their car. Probably they do, in India, probably they do pujas for their cricket team. So people want to love something, so now they're loving their car, they're loving their house, So they're giving their love because they want to experience love. And then they want to experience love towards living entities. Usually the love is experienced most intensely in the material world, in the madhurya rasa, material madhurya rasa, between husband and wife, and then children, and then your pets and their servants, etc., etc. So we're trying to experience love. So Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī tried to experience love, or Krishna wanted to experience love as Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī was experiencing love. Because he tried to do that as Krishna, but he realized that Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī was experiencing greater happiness than he was experiencing. And everyone wants the maximum amount of happiness. Does anyone come to the movement to experience the maximum amount of distress? I'm too happy in the Hare Krishna movement. Which zone can I go to so I can experience more distress? No, everyone wants the maximum amount of happiness because Krishna wants the maximum amount of happiness. He lives, he exists to experience more and more happiness. Just like it may be a little austere today if we have to fast the whole day. And then we exist, we survive the whole day, so prasadam at 7 o'clock this evening. So we can experience the happiness of taking prasadam, the relief from our distress, separation from prasadam. So Krishna exists eternally to experience more and more happiness, and he realized that Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is experiencing more happiness by her love than he's experiencing by his love for her and all others. So he wanted to take the role of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, just like we want to figure out what role can I take so that I can get the maximum amount of happiness by loving others or loving Krishna. And by loving Krishna, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, she experiences his unlimited sweetness. He's the source of everything, so he's the source of unlimited sweetness also. But only Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī relishes it to the highest degree. And she wanted to experience Krishna's love for her. Because Krishna, when he experiences Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, his love increases, so she wants to experience his increasing love so that she knows she's doing her service nicely. Now, even higher than Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī's love, it says, because she experiences Krishna, loving Krishna millions of times more than Krishna experiences loving Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. But even higher than that is the gopis and the manjaris. They experience, when they unite Radha and Krishna together, they experience millions of times more, whatever it means, I don't know, millions of times. We use the word millions of times. More happiness than either Radha and Krishna experience by their loving exchanges. So we've come to the material world out of disappointment that we're not either Radha or Krishna, that we're just ordinary living entities. So here we've come to pretend that, as I usually say, either I'm a two-handed Narayan or two-handed goddess of fortune. And if we don't know about that, then it's usually I'm Romeo or I'm Juliet. And if we can't experience that, that was too far away, then it's either I'm Tarzan or I'm Jane. People go to the gym to look like Tarzan. Hey, I'm Tarzan. Or if we can't do that, then at least we're Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse. So somewhere or another we're trying to experience this rasa, but the original happiness we're actually looking for, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to experience, not only Radha Krishna, the love between Radha and Krishna, but he said, Naham viprana chanara patira naham vapina sudro gopi bharata padakamalaya dasa dasa anudasa. That I'm none of these things. I'm not Brahmin, I'm not Kshatriya, I'm not Vaishya, I'm not Shudra. I'm simply the servant of the servant of the servant of of the person who's maintaining the gopis in Vrindavan. So Srila Prabhupada came here to show us how to live in the movement in Krishna consciousness, which means in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu consciousness, of being the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna in this disciple succession. So it is not, as one devotee said, they asked Prabhupada, how can I become a great devotee? And Prabhupada said, don't try to become a great devotee, try to become a devotee. When Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada wrote in 1968 to Janardhan in Montreal. He said that actually the words of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur are as good as scripture. He said that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was on the level of Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī. Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī takes her servant, her ordinary servant, to be greater than she is. That's called Mahabhagavad. He said there are others who are not on that level, but still, by strictly following those who are on that level, they can also be eligible to preach and instruct others and even give them initiation. But they have to understand what level they're on and then guide people to the Mahabhagavad. And that Mahabhagavad is still present in our society as Srila Prabhupada, through his Murti, through his instructions, through his servants. Because whatever we're able to do within the society, whatever level it's on, is all according to how much we've understood in following Srila Prabhupada. So it is not that, as Srila Prabhupada said in 1977, November 2nd, as I often repeat, that some, I guess it must have been, we're in Uttar we're bordering with Uttar Pradesh, and the other side is Rajasthan. So the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh came, and with another politician, asked Srila Prabhupada, who will be the next acharya within ISKCON? Because everyone was interested, after you leave Srila Prabhupada, who's going to be the next acharya? Although Prabhupada had said that actually I'm never going to leave. I'm going to live together in my books, my followers will live with me. So to think that Srila Prabhupada is gone is to think that, well, Krishna is gone, but we're worshiping his deity because we have nothing else to do. Or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is gone because we have nothing else to do. But they're not here any longer. Or that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not here, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. No. Prabhupada said they live forever in their words and the followers will live with them. So they're all present here. The question is where we are. So they're trying to bring us here too. So we can understand how it's not a competition, who's going to become great, it's the competition is who's going to become a great servant of our acharyas, who have already manifested their mercy, and they're they're teaching us how to actually experience what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is experiencing. We're not Krishna, so we can never experience it to the unlimited magnitude, but the happiness we can experience could be unlimited if we accept the right attitude of service to our acharyas. The right service to our acharyas means that when we're seeing how everything and everyone is connected to Krishna, that as soon as we see things disconnected from Krishna, and in our society, we should see Srila Prabhupada, and by experiencing Srila Prabhupada's instructions, then we should be connected with our acharyas in disciple succession, and the 6 Goswamis, and the Panchatattva, and ultimately with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feelings of separation. That's a lot to put into our heart. But that's what we're learning to put into our heart. First of all, by putting Srila Prabhupada into our heart. And even before we put Srila Prabhupada into our heart, we have to accept that those who are introducing Srila Prabhupada to us, they're also non-different from Srila Prabhupada. So they should be in our heart also. They may be in our heart at the Madhyama Adhikari platform, Srila Rupa Goswami, as the representative of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the representative of Krishna. They tell us how to put Krishna in our heart, in the society of devotees, so that we're actually connected to Srila Prabhupada and in disciple succession to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And how to do it? Srila Rupa Goswami said, Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chat praniti vischabhajatam isham shushushaya chabhajnam ananya anya indati shunyam hridaya usita sangalabhya. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name. One should cooperate with the devotees who are engaged in worshiping the deity, whether it's Srila Rupa Goswami said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is our deity also, as well as the deities within our temple. When we go on book distribution, Sankirtan, we're going out with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Panchatattva. They come along with us to spread Krishna consciousness, because without their being there, Krishna Shakti Vinanaya Tarapavartana, we won't know what to say, what to do. It's not the super soul who's telling us, it's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī, telling us what to say to the conditioned souls so that they can actually accept Krishna in the form of Srila Prabhupada's book. And they can accept the holy name as much as we've understood and we chant and we try to enthusiastically distribute Krishna consciousness. To that degree, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is manifesting through us. So we should learn how to cooperate. It's not important. All these superficial things are not very important. At the end of the day, it's how much we've understood that we're not the body. It's not exactly what body I have that's so important, as we have to understand what kind of body we have so we can serve appropriately. But it's even more important to understand that we're not the body, that we're just an instrument for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And that's obtained the more we can understand how wonderful that mercy is. How we have to appreciate the devotees. And love that, just like Śrīmati Rādhārāṇī wanted to experience Krishna's love, so we want to experience her love. So we want to experience our enthusiasm, our love for Krishna, our love for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this movement, our love for the conditioned souls and for each other by experiencing Srila Prabhupada's love through this, the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's love through this, Krishna's love through disciple succession, Śrīmati Rādhārāṇī's love. We want to experience our love by experiencing their love. Because without experiencing their love, we won't be able to experience our love. And we want to experience Krishna's unlimited qualities through that love. Krishna's unlimited qualities has been manifested in this whole universe. This is just a fraction of his qualities. So if we can't see Krishna in this movement, we won't be able to see Krishna anywhere else. And if we think that we're something special in this movement, then we won't be able to understand how everyone in this movement is actually special. When Śrīmati Rādhārāṇī sees her girlfriends, when she's going to meet Krishna, her love, she's thinking, I'm simply insignificant. These gopis, these manjaris are so unlimitedly beautiful that I'm so insignificant that her love just expands unlimitedly, and they become overwhelmed by her love for them, because she appreciates them unlimitedly. And then their love grows by experiencing her unlimited love for them. And when she sees their unlimited love, her unlimited love growing through them, she develops even more love for them. And then we'll be able to understand how wonderful the qualities are of the devotees in this movement. Then we'll be able to cooperate within this movement when we realize how wonderful every devotee in this movement is manifesting Srila Prabhupada's qualities. And Srila Prabhupada's qualities are manifest because they're the manifestation of the complete whole. Then we'll be able to understand how Krishna loves us. Or Srila Prabhupada once wrote to me, I was trying to figure out how Bhava turns into prema, as I said before, and I wrote to Srila Prabhupada. Just repeat the same thing. Because at that time we had no books in the movement. All we had was Srila Prabhupada's original Śrīmad-bhāgavatāms. We had no Bhagavad Gita. So it was very hard for me to understand, we heard the Śrīmad-bhāgavatam, but I knew there was something more. The only thing I was hearing about Bhagavad Gita is 3 times a week, Burjan Peru would give a class on just the translation of the Bhagavad Gita. And after 3 months, 3 times a week, or 6 months, whatever it was, hearing the same translation with no purport, no Sanskrit, no Bhagavad Gita, only Denos, only the embodied soul is continually passing in the body from boyhood to youth to old age. So similarly the soul passes to another body at the time of death. The self-realized souls are not bewildered by such a change. So I was waiting for a little bit more philosophy that I could understand. I couldn't understand Śrīmad Bhāgavatam so easily. So there was one other book besides Srila Prabhupada's Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. It was called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, with a translation by Ban Maharaj. So with commentary, and that was Ban Maharaj actually paid for the translation of Jiva Goswami's commentary on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So as Srila Prabhupada instructed my temple president that you should not read Radha Krishna's Bhagavad Gita, only the translation of that one verse were we allowed to hear. So similarly, he must have told my temple president that you should not read the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So he had one copy though, it was hidden. It was we only had a very small temple, so there was 2 rooms, and he was hidden in a closet. And first thing my temple president told me, don't read that book. So I thought that's the book I got to read. So when everyone went to sleep at night, I go into the room and start reading it. So I got up to the part, I was experiencing some happiness in Krishna consciousness at the beginning. So I got up to the part where it said, how does Bhava turn into prema? So I couldn't understand it so well, but I thought I should understand it. So I wrote to Srila Prabhupada, because I used to send him dakshin for selling his little blue Bhagavad Gita. I was the treasurer, and I'd send it to him, and he'd usually write me back a letter. So in this particular letter, he wrote me, because he got my question, how does Bhava turn into prema? So he wrote me a 1-page letter, and in the 1 page he started about how I should go out and just sell the Bhagavad Gitas, because that's what I was doing, was selling little blue Bhagavad Gita. And then in the second paragraph he said that actually in San Francisco we just had a Rath Yatra, and the boys and girls have been were dancing, 10,000 boys and girls were dancing and chanting in full spiritual ecstasy. That the boys and girls in your country are generally good souls, that's why they've taken birth in such a nice country. That I heard them in New York, in just 2 weeks they've distributed 3,000 Back to Godheads. And then in Buffalo you're also distributing Back to Godhead very nicely. So please continue in this way, and your success in life is guaranteed. As Krishna sees that you're working seriously to help bring Krishna's other children back to the spiritual kingdom, then He'll bestow all His blessings upon you. That Krishna is never ungrateful for our efforts to serve Him, rest assured. So we should not think that we're hearing about pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this was 500 years ago, or pastimes of Krishna 5,000 years ago, or the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada just recently, and somehow or another we're disconnected. We're supposed to feel in this spirit of separation, but through that spirit of separation, by feeling separation from Srila Prabhupada, or someone like Bhadrani Maharaj, I'm just remembering I spent the last 15 years, every GBC meeting, I was sitting next to him. And we had quite a rasa in that meetings, which developed into a very sweet rasa. But it's quite interesting. Anyhow, even feelings, because they're manifestations of Srila Prabhupada. We learn about Srila Prabhupada and His mercy through them. Not separate, they're not something separate. But through them we can experience the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the mercy of His followers, their devotees, and actually enter into Krishna consciousness. The full Krishna consciousness, everything will be there. There's nothing lost. Will only get better. The more we actually learn how to enter into the pastimes of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and His followers, the more we learn how to enter into them by service, by proper service attitude towards them, then the more Krishna will give us all His mercy. And that means that we're not trying to realize that what identity is, because in Mahabhagavad, Prabhupada said he realizes 4 things. He's assimilated all the philosophy, and what happens? He understands his spiritual identity. He experiences that there's no difference between Krishna and His name, and at the same time, he's 100%, 24 hours a day. No deviation by body, mind, or words in trying to bring Krishna's other children back to the spiritual kingdom. So that was Srila Prabhupada, and that's the example of his followers to different degrees. And that should be appreciated. That's how we make advancement. That's what we're supposed to see. If we don't see that, then we're blind. Not only we're blind to what's going on, we're blind to Prabhupada's teachings. We're blind to his followers' teachings, if that's not what we're seeing. And therefore we'll be blind to the 6 Goswamis, to our acharyas of the 6 Goswamis, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we have to learn how to see like that. Appreciate those who are chanting Hare Krishna, cooperate with those who are actually worshiping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers, and serve those with unalloyed love and affection and obedience to those who are advanced more than we are in unalloyed devotional service, and whose hearts are devoid of the propensity to criticize others. This is exactly what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. He said, Avajananti mamudha manushim danum ashrityam param bhavam ajanato mamabhuta baheshwaram. The fools, they deride my descending in this human form. They don't know my transcendental nature and my supreme dominion and over all the be. So how many of us know Krishna is a sweetness as described here in this verse that Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī is experiencing? But Prabhupada said, don't worry about that. It may not be on our level right now. It's not for something, as Prabhupada wrote me at the end. He said, as far as, in my letter, as far as how bhava turns into prema, there's no need to worry yourself over such advanced topics at the present time. He said, surely my book, The Nectar of Devotion, will come out, and you read about it there. And then at the end he said, you said that you enclosed $50 for my Back to Godhead fund, for my BBT, but I don't find any money enclosed. I didn't realize that sometimes whatever happened. In other words, it's not something for us to worry about, but we should know clearly that this knowledge is coming to succession. As Prabhupada once wrote to me, he said that, thank you very much, another letter, thank you very much for this contribution of love. That we're all servants of Krishna, and if there's any credit for me, it goes to my spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said, we're all servants of Krishna working under consecutive disciple succession. So please read all the books that I've written, and sometimes afterwards, you'll have to help carry on the disciple succession. So that applies to all of us. It wasn't just for me. Prabhupada expects all of us to carry on this disciple succession. So, I just forgot. So our mission is to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. It is not that we're going to miss out on anything by helping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by focusing on what Srila Prabhupada focused on. First of all, namely, distribute this Krishna consciousness in the form of books to others. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire, coming through Srila Prabhupada, and coming from those who have understood Srila Prabhupada. And at the same time, Prabhupada wanted to manifest these books. It's not that he only wanted us to distribute books, he wanted to read the books so we can go through the process of remembering what's in the books, seeing what's in the books, applying it within our lives with conviction under all circumstances, becoming skillful in the application, and then developing, as we become absorbed in Krishna's consciousness and Krishna's service, developing the qualities, the character of a pure devotee. Always associating with Srila Prabhupada, always associating with our disciple succession, with the six Goswamis, with the Panchatattva, with Krishna and his associates. We should all carry Krishna in that way within our heart. So this is what Srila Prabhupada expected. He gave so many instructions, but he wanted book distribution to go on foremost, this knowledge to be distributed. He wanted also farm projects, he wanted gurukuls, he wanted temples, he wanted so many things, and we should all contribute however we can to these things. Whatever our inspiration, whatever our talent, whatever our ability, service has to be there. Not only distributing the books, but also manifesting what's in the books in a practical way. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Srila Prabhupada will be pleased and will actually be connected to the disciple succession. This is what it means. And why the disciple succession? Because it's perfect. Whatever Prabhupada gave us is perfect. Because it's exactly what Krishna gave him. And Krishna knows everything, past, present, and future. Therefore, everything about Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan is perfect. It's perfectly in his books. It's the only science that exists, actually real science, eternal science, that exists is in Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's there, and we're supposed to manifest it in this movement. Then it'll shine glorious. As Prabhupada once wrote to me, he said, if you light a match in a dark room, then the darkness can't put the match out. So we just have to put out the darkness to have, as Prabhupada goes on, he says that we all have a relation with Krishna. We're all manifesting that relation with Krishna now as service. And then Prabhupada, in another paragraph, he says that what we should be, how we should manifest. He says that this succession was manifested to Arjuna, was given to Arjuna. Why? Sevyam maya tedya yogo prakta pratana bhaktosi me sakacheti rahasyam hiyatad uttamam. Rahasyam. How is this confidential knowledge revealed? Simply we have to develop friendship towards Krishna. We have to be favorable. not only towards Krishna, we don't know Krishna. Favorable towards Krishna, yes. We have to be happy when we see the deities. Not that it's time for Mangalarti, I'm tired, who cares, I'll see him tomorrow. Could you imagine Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī? The gopis say, well, he's waiting for you in Vamsivat. And Śrīmatī Rādhārāṇī says, oh, I'm tired, I'll see him tomorrow. No, we have to be friendly towards Krishna. And we have to be becoming friendly towards Krishna and his devotees, because this is all manifestation of Krishna. We have to be favorable. Prabhupada once wrote, if you see a Vaishnava and you're not joyful, then you're in Maya. And through that, we have to learn how to become a devotee of Krishna. First friendship, then devotion. First cooperation, then pure devotion. Then we'll be able to understand what the acharyas are telling us. So this is what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. Practically no one understood Krishna. Although they're expert, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here, so many people are expert, much more expert than we are, in Gyan, in Karma, in Yoga, much more expert. But they were moga, shamoga, karmano, moga, jnana, vicetasa. They were baffled. Everyone is baffled. It doesn't matter how expert we become in karma, gyan, yoga, liberation, whatever. We'll be baffled if we don't come under the spiritual energy. Mahatmanastu mamparta, daivim prakritim ashitya, bhajanyanyanyam banaso, gyaprabhutadem avyam. That those who are great devotees, they're under the spiritual energy. And how do they come under the spiritual energy? Sadadam kirtayanto mam yatantas chadrudavratah namasyantas srimam bhakta nityukta upasate. They chant Krishna's glories. Anyone who's chanting Krishna's glories, we have to respect within our mind, because they're under the spiritual energy. If we don't, then we'll be under the external energy. And we have to learn how to cooperate with those who are Dhritarata, trying to become, what is Dhritarata? It means when we take initiation means we're giving up our false ego. No longer do I think, I'm this material body, I belong to a certain country, a certain male or female. I'm simply Krishna's servant. Dasa, dasa, anudasa. Therefore we get the name of Dasi or Dasa. We should cooperate with them, whatever it takes. And Prabhupada gave us a GBC because someone has to take the responsibility. It's not that the GBC is perfect, but at least there's someone that we can, some organization, some group of devotees, hopefully Krishna conscious, as much as Krishna conscious as possible, who can give us some direction of how to cooperate. Otherwise, cooperation is meaningless. Shiksha Guru. We need some Shiksha Guru to teach us how to cooperate. Prabhupada wanted the GVC to become that Shiksha Guru. Then, that cooperation, after that, then namasyantas srimam bhaktya nityukta upasate. Then always chanting Krishna's glories, always engage in devotional service. The characteristics of an advanced devotee: loving everyone, loving Krishna, seeing Krishna everywhere, loving Krishna everywhere, and becoming detached from things that draw the mind away from Krishna. So this is nectar of devotion, nectar of instruction, nectar of devotion, Bhagavad Gita. It's all the same, just expanded in different ways. And the more we understand that, then the more we'll be able to expand our consciousness and become situated not only Prabhupada consciousness, but ISKCON consciousness. Not only ISKCON consciousness, Prabhupada consciousness, Acharya consciousness, Six Goswami consciousness, Panchatattva consciousness, and ultimately we'll enter into the full spiritual world, and we'll all live together. As Prabhupada once said, he was talking about some devotees were wanting to leave ISKCON, and they were claiming that one of the followers was actually a pure devotee, and that we should follow him because the other devotees in ISKCON were more or less in Maya. And Prabhupada said, yes, he may be a pure devotee, so we can worship him as a pure devotee. He said, but all my followers are pure devotees. Such and such may be a pure devotee, he's also a pure devotee. He said, actually he said there'll be another ISKCON in the spiritual world. Maybe not the way most of us perceive ISKCON right now, but there will be another ISKCON in the spiritual world. So we should appreciate that we're in the right movement, we're at the right time, the perfect time. Just we have to take shelter of Srila Prabhupada, and those who have taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada, to whatever extent they've taken shelter of Srila Prabhupada, and follow them, and the result is that we'll be in the spiritual world with all these wonderful devotees, and with Radha and Krishna and all these wonderful devotees who are servants of them. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes.
For us neophytes, that Baba and Prema is way, way down the road, somewhere out, millions of miles. What about those that were struggling to get out of anartha vritti? Do you have any tips how we can quickly get this anartha vritti stage?
Through Baba. Srila Prabhupada has given us the means of getting out of the anartha vritti stage. Through Baba. And how did he do that? Srila Rupa Goswami has given us 5 powerful processes of devotional service as general principles. Namely, come to Mangalarti, worship the deities, in other words. Hear Śrīmad Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Worship, chant Hare Krishna. Serve the devotees, and try to make the atmosphere, preach and make the atmosphere purified and our heart purified. Srila Rupa Goswami says in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu Nectar Devotion that if one concentrates his mind upon these 5 powerful processes and gives one's love to him, to Krishna in these 5 powerful processes, he can experience Bhava. Doesn't matter what position he's on.
So there's Bhava, different levels of Bhava then?
Yeah, there's constant Bhava, and there's a little bit of glimpse of ecstasy, love. So we can experience it immediately. And through that, then we become Vishaya Vinivartante, Nirarasideinam, Rasavarjam Rasopyasya Paramdrisham Nivartate. That the embodied soul may be attracted to sense objects, or give up sense objects. Well, the taste for sense objects remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste, he remains fixed in consciousness. So it's by experiencing the ecstasy and love that we actually come to the higher platform. That's called madhyama.
You can see how many devotees were crying when Prabhupada, so many tears of love when Prabhupada would come in those days. The devotees are crying at anything. So that's some kind of a bhava there, yeah.
Yeah, of course it's bhava.
Yeah.
It's obviously, that's a little, but we shouldn't think, well, now I've been crying a little bit for Prabhupada. I mean, sometimes I cried a lot. But it doesn't mean that now, we may experience some ecstasy sometimes. We shouldn't think, now I've understood. Yes, we've understood to a certain degree, but we can't imagine what actually the gift that Chaitanya Maharaj
We're crying but still looking at the women. We're crying but still looking at the women. We're crying but I'm still looking at the women over there. Because it's different. See what my point is? I may say I'm crying, but I'm still materially attached.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyhow, whatever, we should understand. Now I'm experiencing a little light. The light and the darkness has come.
A little sample of Baba, yeah.
Right. And then that's the impetus to increase it, so that we should see where we're at, and this glorious experience I had, that's where I have to go to next. That's Otherwise, if we don't, Krishna doesn't give us his mercy, how will we know what direction to go in?
Yeah.
Why will we become inspired to go in that direction unless he gives us the mercy?
Yeah.
And therefore, Srila Prabhupada has given us the process and has given us instructions so that how much darkness may be, if we follow those instructions, the light will come.
Yeah.
Jai. Thank you for the question. Anything else? Yes.
Thank you for your wonderful class. How can we be an exemplary representative of Srila Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
I think first of all we have to read Prabhupada's books to find out what that means. And then we have to find out who we are and what body we're in. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ukramantam sthitim vapi bhunjana vagananvita vimudo nanapashanti pashanti jnana chakshusha. The foolish, so let's start with the word, the foolish, mudha, he uses that word in Latin, Bhagavad Gita, mudha. Mudha actually has quite a emotional intensity to it. I learned that in the airport one time when I was distributing a book, and the devotee I was distributing a book with, one Christian came up and tried to break up his sales in the airport. Indian Christian, by the way. So this devotee was getting a little frustrated, and he looked at the Christian Indian and said, "You're a mudha." And this gentleman turned red, and he got so angry, he left and got a policeman.
Oh.
And the policeman came and said, "What's the problem?" And the Indian gentleman said, "He called me a mudha." And he practically had a heart attack. So the policeman said, "He called you a what?" "A mudha." He said, "Get lost," and he left. And I swear the man, he practically clutched his heart, and I thought he was going to have a heart attack. So Krishna uses the word mudha. One second. He uses the word mudha. Do you want to say something about mudha? You want to say?
You quoted a letter from Srila Prabhupada. I can read a little bit of it. Your next question: after leaving the material realm, does the devotee remain forever with his spiritual master? Yes, but I think you've got the mistaken idea in this connection. You speak of the pure devotee, that he's Shakta Vishavatar, that we should only obey him. These things are a wrong idea. If anyone thinks like that a pure devotee should be obeyed and no one else, that means he is a nonsense. We advise everyone to address one another as Prabhu. Prabhu means master. So how the master should be disobeyed? Others are also pure devotees. All of my disciples are pure devotees. Anyone sincerely serving the spiritual master is a pure devotee. It may be Siddha, Swarup, or others, Asiddha Swarup. This must be very clearly stated. It is not only that your Siddha Swarup is a pure devotee and not others. Don't try to make a faction. Siddha Swarup is a good soul, but others should not be misled. Anyone who is surrendered to the spiritual master is a pure devotee. Doesn't matter, Siddha Swarup or non-Siddha Swarup. Amongst ourselves, one should respect others as Prabhu, master, one another. As soon as we distinguish, here's a pure devotee, here's a non-pure devotee, that means I'm a nonsense. Why you only want to be in the spiritual world with Siddha Swarup? Why not all? If Siddha Swarup can go, why not everyone? Siddha Swarup will go, you will go, Śrīmatī will go, all others will go. We'll have another ISKCON there. Of course, Mr. Nair must stay.
Thank you. I think that answers your question. But, so, anyhow, that answers your question too.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, yes.
One more over here.
One more.
Maharaj, I think you indicated in your class in a few ways, is the correct understanding the verse that you read, these 3 desires of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, are we also meant to understand the glories of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in Krishna that she alone relishes, the happiness that she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love?
Would you like to do that? Would you like to experience that?
I think I want to clarify, is that our position to do like that?
Of course it is. Do you think these books who are the books meant for? You think Krishna is telling us well, there's this wonderful experience you can have. There's this wonderful experience I'm having. Unfortunately, you can't have it. You're just an insignificant soul. Get lost. No, it's meant for us. Everything in the books is meant for us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Krandaraj, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Appearance Day of Mahaprabhu ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.